o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, Overreaction Monday, and it is another Monday here on the Patrick Johnson Show. I am the great P-Man here with you on a gorgeous day. It'll be a nice week. A little bit of rain at last check, possibility for Saturday night. So we'll see. It'll be Parents' Weekend, so I imagine there will be a good crowd in the Hizzle that night. Philip the Ref Pilkington producing the show. He, of course, of ECU Sports Network fame, Steve Logan Show fame, etc. Understand Coach Logan will not be in on Friday for those of you that are faithful listeners to his program and tune in during this hour. His brother, as we told you last week, passed, so they will be out for that funeral. Will Coach Logan and his wife. And our condolences, of course, to the Logan family on the death of his brother. So we'll be back in our familiar time slot of 5 on Friday, Pilk. And I don't know what we'll do. Maybe we'll gain audience because Logan's so popular. Who knows? Maybe we'll gain listeners. Maybe they'll like what they hear Friday.
Maybe. However, I know a lot of his listeners are people down at the beach that are on 96.3, I think, and they've been telling him they're glad that they don't have to listen to political talk for an hour, and that's why they like him so much. So I think he's just the better alternative.
Should we do political talk for that hour then? Is that what we should do?
Maybe we should. Yeah.
I don't think they want you and I doing political talk. I don't.
I mean, it would just be an extension of Henry's show with you and I talking, with you and I instead of you and Henry. I mean, it would still be as
You are beyond me, at least in politics. I'll say that.
Yeah, I get
Henry too. I would say
I get some haters on Henry's show. That's for sure. I think I take it a little too far.
No, you get a lot of love on there. Well, hey, again, I think another case of, I hate to say more of the same, but a lot of what we saw really the first or second game of the season. I thought the Pirates played well for a half. The third quarter, the defense probably stayed out there a little too long, and I think that kind of came back to bite the Pirates in the fourth. There was a little bit of a semblance of identity on offense, but I still think that has a ways to go, and I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot to it now that obviously I think will be decided. Everybody is all worked up about Gardner Webb, and they should be. They've got an excellent coach and a really good quarterback, and they've got a team that can score points, but then they got beat on the road this weekend at Tennessee State, 27-25. So there you go. You want to hear some of the post-game courtesy of the ECU Sports Network? Pilk, we got that ready?
Yep, let's do it.
All right, let's play our Pirate Report. By the way, Sonny Sunholder will be with us in just a little bit if you're with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show today. We'll hear from Sonny in a few minutes, but right now, a Pirate Report.
And now, Patrick Johnson with today's Pirate Report on the flagship station of the ECU Pirates, 94.3 The Game.
All right, Coach Houston asked about his thoughts on the second half in the post game on Saturday.
I thought our defense was on the field a little bit too much in the third quarter, and it got to us there in the fourth, and we weren't able to keep up with them right there during when they made a run there and got the momentum. If we could have gotten a score there, which we had some opportunities, just trying really, really hard to get it back to a one-score game, and we never could do that in the fourth quarter.
All right, Coach, on the defensive touchdowns, Pirates scored a pair of them, and that helped keep them close in the game at Boone.
Really good call there with the trap coverage, and Antoine made a nice break on the ball. A big time play right there by him, and then Siobhan, able to not only recover the fumble but take it back for a score. Certainly those two plays were huge.
And Coach Houston assessed Alex Flynn's first start.
For the most part, it was very positive. The first interception is on him. We really need to look at the other two, but I thought all things considered, I thought he did a lot of positive things, a lot of things to build on.
And he was also asked about the play, and it was kind of a familiar-looking return to form, Pilk, I thought, for Rajay Harris. He looked a little more like old Rajay Harris in this game at times. So Coach talked about Rajay Harris.
It was good to see Rajay. He obviously had a lot of leadership and a lot of fire in him today, and I just wished it could have resulted in a win.
Yep, absolutely. More from Coach, and let's see here. That would be Bobby B. Bop. On the team's improvement through 3 games, or really where the team is through 3 games.
I knew coming into this that we had a very challenging non-conference schedule, and it's we have hurt ourselves now, but we have seen improvement, and that's why I told the kids in there right now is there's a good football team in that locker room. We've got to continue to push to put it all together.
All right, some other things to talk about in this game, or players to hear from. Siobhan Revel, who had one of the defensive scores, a scoop and score.
Playing football since I was 4, and my coaches always taught me not to stop till you hear that whistle blown. So I kind of hesitated. I ain't hear no whistle blown, so I went after it. Picked it up, went for a 6.
That's awesome. Good moment for him at Boone, and he's also talked about the Antoine Jackson pick.
Oh, I was super excited for him. That was a big play. I was excited. I feel like he still have some little work to do. He still got to step some things up, though. You feel me? I mean, that's for everybody. I feel like the defense, you see our potential in the first half. I feel like we just got to find them little errors, and we're going to step it up in practice.
All right, let's hope they do. And then he gives some more thoughts on Antoine Jackson as a player, does Revel.
I mean, since the summertime, I already seen it. I seen it. I seen the potential he had in him. Yeah, he only 17, but, hey, I ain't never seen a 17-year-old play like that.
So young, and, it's interesting, Pilk, as excited as Siobhan Revel was for his scoop and score, I think it says a lot about the quality of kids on this team. He was more excited to talk about Antoine Jackson in those cuts we just played there.
He is, and that's leadership right there. I mean, that's leadership.
Exactly. You're right, brother. That is. All right, one more, Revel. He said that the kid, Noel, from App State was the toughest running back they've seen this year, and he was spectacular on Saturday.
Number 5, I give him his props. Probably the toughest running back we faced so far. Past games, they was bigger and not as fast, but he's definitely a tough guy.
All right, we're going to hear from Alex Flynn here on how the offense has progressed in his opinion, and how the offense did progress with him on Saturday.
I think the offense was able to move the ball a little bit better and a little more consistency. But, we still got to the turnovers. We got to, can't have them. It's on me, so got to be better. But I think offense is taking the steps, but we got to be better.
Alex Flynn talked about the 3 interceptions.
Yeah, just a mix of trying to make a play, not looking off the safety enough. I guess it just comes with more game time.
Yeah, and Alex talked about the fast start by the offense.
Yeah, I think it was a good start for us. It got us going a little bit. So that's good to see. We always talk about starting out strong, but, it doesn't really make a difference if you can't finish it off.
And then one more for Alex Flynn here when he talked about prep as a starter.
Well, I found out Thursday before practice, but, I was starting at the beginning of the week there. I approach it just the same as I've been approaching every week, like I'm going to play. So, I was ready.
He said it there. It was Thursday before he was told he was going to be the starter. I don't know how the reps were divided in practice, but, I think Alex Flynn came out and made a tremendous accounting of himself, all things considered. And, tough deal for the kid to kind of get pressed in there. If it was the type of deal he wasn't getting the first team reps and then he finds out Thursday he's going in. I don't know if he was when I think we all kind of wondered why Mason appeared in the game, and I guess Flynn might have been a little shaken up, and they were attending to him or just checking him out, so that's why Mason was in on that last. From what I understand, by somebody there. That's not from the football program. That's from somebody who was watching the game as an observer, not a fan, but an observer, let's just say, and that's what they told me. So. We'll find it all out coming up. Coach Houston, 6 o'clock, Inside Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers on the ECU Sports Network, 94.3 The Game, the IBX Media app, and WNCT.com. So we'll be there. We'll have it for you, and we'll get to the bottom of some of this at quarterback and some other things as far as the Pirates and running Bulldogs at Garner-Webb go, and some post-mortem on East Carolina and Appalachian State. Again, I know right now it seems hard to find improvement, but I thought the offense looked better. I do feel like the defense, it was tough for them to have gone into the second half, and I think the last couple games they've just been gassed. And so that comes back to the offense has got to sustain some drives. Hopefully they'll be able to do that. Maybe Flynn will be back in there this week, and with Flynn maybe getting a full week of prep and reps, he might be able to really move the ball effectively. Pilk, you got any thoughts on the game before we grab a break here and get Sonny on?
Yeah, I think, like you mentioned, it is kind of the same. I do think the defense maybe played their worst game in the trenches that they have played, which you obviously thought coming into the season the Michigan game would probably be the worst, but didn't defend the run real well. But overall, like you said, they're gassed. I mean, they look good at the beginning, and, obviously great 2 defensive touchdowns. The problem is that also makes back-to-back possessions for the defense. And then, like you said, when the offense goes 3 and out and can't sustain anything, they're just gassed. We saw it against Marshall in that fourth quarter, and we saw it again this past week. But offense improved to an extent, but still not exactly where you want them to be.
Yeah, and, I actually thought defensively up the middle, ECU was pretty good. Luke Larson, I thought, had one of his best games. I mean, he flipped the field a couple times, particularly what led to the pick 6 by the 17-year-old Antoine Jackson. So I think there's a lot of, again, there's some things to take from this. It's just getting everybody that the experience and the confidence that they need at this point. Good opportunity to do that with Garner-Webb, but, you can't come into this thing taking the running Bulldogs lightly because they're going to be fired up and ready to play. They led App in the second half of that game in the season opener. So, I wouldn't expect anything less from Gardner-Webb other than their best shot. We'll talk about the running Bulldogs more throughout the week and, of course, tonight on Inside Pirate Athletics. Let's take a break. When we come back, ladies, Jay Sonholder will be with us from a video feed, so I'm told. So we're going to catch up with Sonny, ESPN college football analyst. We'll talk to Sonny Sonholder right after this.
R&D Brewing is proud to partner with the ECU Pirates, and now you can enjoy Pirates Brew, the official craft beer of ECU Athletics. Pirates Brew is a carefully curated light beer that embodies the spirit of ECU, a refreshing and easy drinking light beer. Pirates Brew by R&D Brewing is available now at grocery stores, local retailers, and at ECU athletic events.
Head over to your favorite store and enjoy a nice Pirates Brew today, or else you'll walk the plank. Hand me another Pirates Brew. Arr.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. Fifth Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Just because voice-over IP telephones are the latest technology in the telephone world doesn't mean they're the right choice for you and your business. Whether your internet provider is unable to support a voice-over IP phone system, or you don't have a need for high-tech features and simply want to stick with a traditional system, Spain Telecom is here to help. Spain Telecom offers a variety of services to keep your business connected and competitive. We're confident we can find the right phone system for you and your business, a system that addresses all your communication needs. Looking for a new phone system that won't break the bank? In addition to new systems, Spain Telecom also offers gently used systems that are in great shape and can save you money. No matter your needs, Spain Telecom has a solution for you. Whether it's voice over IP, on-premise systems, new or used, give us a call at 252-353-2006 and let Spain Telecom help you with your communications needs.
Download the new IBX Media app now and get the show for your ears and eyes.
Doesn't it look great on me?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Okay, we got the great Sonny Sunholder on with us here. ESPN college football analyst. I'm not going to even say everything I know about what's going on this weekend. I'm just not going to say it. I'm not saying a word about it. I'm not bringing it up. I've told you what I've thought, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Well, I love you, and I agree with you. We're on the same page. Just so the world knows we're on the same page on this.
Okay. I don't want to put your business.
Secret.
I'm not putting your business in the streets, but your dad is had a little bit of surgery here, so I hope he's doing okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he's doing better, and God's watching over him.
Well, when Sonny and I have worked together for years, and I think that's so I know his dad Duck, great man, and so that's just the way it is. You know, people. Sonny knows a lot of people that I know, and I know a few people Sonny knows. He keeps his private life very private. I wonder about it sometimes. All right, Jay Sunholder is with us here. I guess we'll start with the Pirates, Sonny. Again, I think it was a case of this is it's a rebuild in the sense that you've got to get guys some reps and some experience, and you're doing it at the expense of a really challenging first three games, which, I mean, you and I talked about it on air, and we've talked about it privately. This was not – I mean, the easiest on paper of the non-conference games is Saturday. And you get three pretty tough ones. You know, I think Marshall's frustrating because they led in the fourth and probably could have and should have won that one. But I think we both knew Michigan was a near impossibility. It would have taken something somewhat miraculous. And App was going to be tough because App's just tough at home. So if you're East Carolina now, what do you got to do to close out September on a high note?
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is if you're in that locker room and the coaching staff, you're 0-3. So how do you get out of it? Of course, you've got to improve. The biggest thing is, though, you have to stay together and you have to maintain your confidence. And, of course, out of this first start, you know, you want to have all three of them, but, you know, you want to have one or two wins under your belt, and the results aren't there. And you know, people are upset. I guarantee those players and the coaches, you know, are looking at everything any way to make sure there's improvement made and they start winning games. So it's a frustrating feeling. The biggest thing is, though, you've got to go out there and maintain your practice habits and act like, it's the first game of the year. So you have to be confident, have to get back out there to work because there's still a long season. But the biggest thing for me is when you watch the film, there are positives, but those weakness areas, you've got to attack those and make sure they get fixed because Gardner Webb is going to be a challenge. I mean, it will be a challenge Saturday. On paper, East Carolina should win the game big, but they're a good FCS team and they have a lot going their way. They made the FCS playoffs last year. They've got a great coach, a good offense that's going to be up tempo. So this is going to be a challenge on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, this is not going to be a walk in the park. Now, they're coming off a loss to Tennessee State, so that's kind of like – but that was a conference game for them. They played App tough, but I think App's better now than they were. They've got a better quarterback than they started the season with. And, they ran away from Elon. So, I mean, this is a game to be had. It should go in the W column. With all of that said, though, because you've played in these type of games where you play in FCS. You played, I think, started your career at the D2 level. And then went Division I. So, I mean, all without a portal or NIL, I might add. But I kind of wonder, Sonny, when you've played these games where you would play an FCS and you're the better team on paper, is this a tough week to focus, or do you think that this 0-3 should have everybody's attention?
Well, it should have everyone's attention. I mean, if they were 3-0 right now, of course you may be a little bit overconfident. But right now, unfortunately the Pirates – can't be overconfident and they have nothing to be, to come in overconfident about. I mean, this is a big game. And not only do the Pirates need to win this, they need to win it in a dominating fashion. And when I say that, of course, you want to, win by a lot of points. You need to win on the line of scrimmage. This is a game the Pirates should dominate up front on the offense and defensive line. And then cleaning up those mistakes from the past few weeks. Of course, those need to be addressed and you want to see improvement there. As a player, as a coach, though, this game, when it comes down to it, those big guys up front have to be challenged and they have to win. And then everything else can be, played off of that. But the trenches, that's what I want to watch on Saturday.
This Pirate football at 6 o'clock on Saturday. 3 o'clock begins coverage here on 94.3, the game with our Busch Light Pirate Game Day Countdown. You played on Skip Holtz's staff, so Donnie Kirkpatrick was a coach on that staff. He is taking a lot of heat right now. And, I think Donnie's we both like Donnie, personally. We both do. And I think if you're talking about a veteran guy, a steady guy, and someone who's executing the vision that Mike Houston has for this offense, to me, Donnie Kirkpatrick right now is your best option, and I think does a really good job, all things considered.
I love Coach Kirkpatrick, and he's one of the best coaches on that staff. And the issues right now with the losses, it's a whole team issue. I mean, it involves everybody. It's not one person or one coach, and I guarantee you, he's an outstanding coach. I played for him and with him when he was there. He is an outstanding coach, and the issues that the offense or this team is facing, it's large scale. It involves everybody. It goes to everybody has to do a better job, and that includes the players, the coaches, everybody involved. It has to be addressed, but believe me, he is an outstanding coach, and I love him and think that he's a reason to be excited because he's the head of getting it this fixed. And on the offensive side, there are issues, but again, this involves everybody all the way throughout the organization.
Yeah. Sonny Sunholder with us here. Alex Flynn started at quarterback. He said his words Thursday before practice. So I would think that because I thought especially early on the offense looked to have a little ID, and they were able to press the ball downfield a little. I know he had 3 picks. The first one totally on him. I think the other 2, I'd be interested to hear what Coach has to say coming up tonight on that. But, to me, the offense looked a little more lively with Flynn out there. He led them on some touchdown drives. So with a full week of prep, which conceivably would need to be what Flynn would get here, running with the first team the whole 9, do you think Flynn can build on what we did see that was positive Saturday.
I think he can build on it. And I think the number one thing for me, though, is there has to be a running game. This offense, especially with young developing quarterbacks, they've got to be able to run the ball. And if I'm an offensive player in that meeting, this comes down to the offensive line and the running backs. You've got to help out the quarterbacks where there's been struggles. If you dominate the running game and can run the ball at will, that's going to open up play action pass, and it will limit the number of throws. So as far as Flynn, yeah, I think he can develop and get better. I think same thing with Mason. I think these guys with more playing time, they're going to be more comfortable. I mean, that's going to be natural. It's just maintaining your confidence when you're going through kind of this growing phase. But like the veterans, the guys up front, that's what's going to help out the passing game. That's what's going to help out this whole offense is running the ball and having that commitment to making sure you pick up positive yards every time you run the ball.
Yeah. Sonny, to me, I think this week, as you say, it's a no excuses thing. You just got to win this week. Just win, baby, as Al Davis would say.
Win big too.
Yeah, that would be a good thing to win big and kind of have that exhale. I think there's just I think a lot of guys are putting a lot of pressure on themselves right now, and they just need to go out and play ball. All right, Philip the Ref Pilkington with the 94.3 The Game Sports Flash updated Pirate Report. Did you know the Carolina Panthers are playing part of a Monday night doubleheader tonight? The games are staggered. You'll have one starting at 7. That's the Panthers game. One starting at 8. That is the other game, I think, Steelers-Browns. So anyway, by the way, Steelers have won 20 in a row on Monday Night Football. How's that for a neato stat, gang? Right now, Philip the Ref Pilkington with news of Pirate Country from over the weekend and a preview of tonight's Panthers game. And then we'll break and we'll come back and we'll talk some more college football with Sonny Sunalder here on the PJ Show.
Thanks, Patrick. Philip Pilkington here with your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash update and Pirate Report. The Pirates fell to 0-3 over the weekend with the loss to Appalachian State. However, quarterback Alex Flynn did get his first career collegiate start, and Mike Houston gave his thoughts on his QB's performance after the game.
For the most part, it was very positive. The first interception is on him. We really need to look at the other two. I thought, all things considered, I thought he did a lot of positive things, a lot of things to build on.
Looking over at the NFL, there were a couple key players who suffered injuries this week. 2 of them were running backs. David Montgomery injured his hip, and when he was asked about how long the injury would be, he said, quote, a couple of weeks. Also, star Giants running back Saquon Barkley injured his ankle in yesterday's contest with the Cardinals, and he is expected to have an MRI on it later today. The Carolina Panthers will be in action for their second game of the season tonight at 7:15. A little awkward start time there for a Monday night game. That game can be heard on Talk 103.7 WTIB. Brian Burns is expected to play in this game despite him not having a contract extension. The Aints are 3-point favorites in this ballgame. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash update and Pirate Report. On the other side of this timeout, we will have more of the Patrick Johnson Show with Jay Sunhalter.
5th Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous 5th Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib. 5th Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call
I'm a big mood. You can't name a lot of things that I didn't do. Stacking paper like a book, not a Kindle. You outdated, I'm the one they getting into. And I won't break a sweat. Let's get it. 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 Child, please, I don't need a towel, please.
Are you game day ready? Anson Belt, the official belt of ECU Athletics.
Are you ready for a digital hair color revolution? The Color Master Factory by Chi and LG. A masterpiece of innovation, unlimited color formulations, limitless possibilities. Long-lasting color. Chi.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Download the new IBX Media app now and get the show for your ears and eyes.
Doesn't it look great on me?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
All right, welcome back. Sonny Sunholder is with us, ESPN college football analyst. And Philip the Ref Pilkington producing, coming up in a little bit. It is Inside ECU Athletics with head coach Mike Houston for Pirate football tonight from Tiebreaker. Steve and I go from Hoist the Colors, and myself will be there live. All right, Sonny, I should say, not to confuse the two. Sonny, did you watch the 60 Minutes thing last night on Deion Sanders? It's the second year in a row that they have previewed Deion. They did back at Jackson State, and then previewed him, a feature on him last night on Colorado. I thought he was fantastic. I'm all in on Coach Prime, but did you see that?
I saw clips of it, but I mean, I already know what he's about, and I would commit to him if he offered me a scholarship.
You kind of have the Coach Prime look. You have the hoodie and the hat. If you have the mirrored sunglasses and perhaps a gold crucifix, I'd say a bedazzled with jewels crucifix, I'd say you're Coach Prime. Are you going Coach Prime here? Let's see.
I can do it now.
All right, let's see. Here's Sonny going Coach Prime for the segment. Put his sunglasses on.
I can do it.
All right, now you're Coach Prime. The Colorado State would say you're not an adult because you're not talking to an adult with Anyway, I got hooked in on that on Saturday. You know, Pirate game, pregame Pirate game, and I had some TV that night. And I got home, and I was hooked. I was in on the Colorado State thing, and it goes double overtime, and they win. I actually rewatched it this morning when ESPN replayed stuff. So doing his best, Coach Prime, Sonny Sunholder, I mean, what a win that was for Deion and that program.
First of all, do you want me to keep these glasses on or take them off?
You could take it. It's up to you. It's your call.
Okay. I'll wear them for a second.
Okay.
I'll wear them.
We wore them in our TV stand-up. We wore sunglasses, and I'm surprised you did that. But it's your call. I'm just there filling time, so I'm just.
Yeah. So with Colorado, what were they last year? They were
1-11,
unwatchable. What are they this year? Their ratings are through the roof. They're 3-0, and
it was the highest rated game of ESPN.
Yeah.
It was the highest rated game Saturday of all games.
I mean, so you know, I mean, obviously, I know a lot of people love them, but if anybody says, "Is this real?" or they don't like it or whatever, I mean, the results are the results. People, they're winning, but people care, and it's changed the whole program up there. I mean, can you imagine how much fun it is to play for them? Like, whether they win or lose against Oregon and USC, they're going to have fun. And the way he builds a program, there's so many coaches out there that are strict, disciplinarian, and maybe not fun. it would be fun to play for him and just sit in those meeting rooms. And what he's able to do for that whole program in that state is he's completely changed the culture. So I'm a big fan. I believe in it, and honestly, he's probably going to be there 2 years, and then he's going to go to another program because he's going to have so much success.
Or do you think he'll go to the NFL maybe?
He said publicly he doesn't want to go to the NFL because he doesn't want to coach millionaires, but it all depends on Shedeur, because Shedeur is going to be a first-round pick.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So if he could go to a franchise, if he could go to a franchise and coach Shedeur, which, who knows, it could happen, I think he'd go for that. But, I mean, he said he doesn't want to, but he's going to get another job, I'll put it that way.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Jay Sunolder is with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. We talk to Sonny every Monday. Georgia survives a little bit of a scare between the hedges against South Carolina. The Gamecocks our girl Kendall Smith said they blew it, so I'm going to go with what Kendall said and say that Cocky blew that one. So what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think Georgia's sleepwalking right now. I mean, their schedule in South Carolina's a rivalry game. Their schedule is soft until they get to the SEC championship. I mean, at Tennessee will be a test, but I mean, I think that's a case of, it's a rivalry game and South Carolina made plays. Georgia took over. Now, the one concern I have for Georgia is when you don't face really difficult tests throughout the year, how much are you getting better and how are you going to react, later on in the year? Same thing with Michigan. I mean, Michigan hasn't, they've blown through everybody they've played, and they're not going to have tests till later on. So I'm still a believer in Georgia and Michigan at the top, but they haven't really been challenged.
Florida State is number 3. They were given a hard time by Boston College, trailed in that game. I'll see them this weekend at Clemson. Do you think Florida State is ripe for an upset going to Death Valley?
I do. I think they are really good, and I think right now they deserve that number 3 ranking. I think, though, Clemson as an underdog at home, I think that's a dangerous team for Florida State to win that game. I think that could be an upset. If it is an upset with Clemson winning it, I do think Florida State is going to be challenged in that game.
There were a ton of Alabama fans in Tampa because that's where they played South Florida. That game was probably closer than it should have been, one would think. But, Bama pitched the shutout after the first and only gave up a field goal. Defensively, I'm not so much worried right now about Alabama. I think they have their hands full against Ole Miss this weekend.
It's going to be tough. Can they score points? Because Ole Miss is going to find a way to score points. I think Alabama is stacked on their roster. They just don't have a quarterback. If they had a quarterback, then they'd be probably one of the top 3 teams in the country. They don't have a quarterback, so it's going to be a challenge. I think Ole Miss could pick them off this weekend because if you don't have somebody behind center, you have to run the ball, and they're going to have to run the ball, and Ole Miss knows that. So it's going to be tough. And anytime Lane Kiffin goes against Saban, he's always got something in his back pocket offensively to score some points. So I think Ole Miss could win that game.
Let's take a look at the American slate for this weekend really quick. I think SMU, by the way, raised like $100 million in like a 7-day stretch. If that were what we were measuring things on, SMU's the champion. SMU at TCU this weekend at noon. Are we going to find out anything about either team here, particularly SMU?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, and I think it's going to be close. I think, in that ball game, I think being at TCU is going to be an advantage. So I would kind of go with them. I think it's going to be a shootout, though.
Tennessee got beat by Florida. They host Texas San Antonio. The Roadrunners are banged up big time. I mean, quarterback hurt, offensive linemen are hurt. So they don't have the full complement of players. Otherwise, I think Tennessee might need to be a little nervous. But I think the Vols roll in that one. Rice and South Florida are playing in a conference game. Number 25, Florida hosting Charlotte. Is there anything – I mean, look, Biff Poggi called his said, I'll blow this whole thing up now if I have to.
Yeah. In his words, he said he went scorch earth on him. So that game, I mean, Florida just had a huge victory over Tennessee. Charlotte lost at home to Georgia State. So you figure on paper, Florida's going to win big. I think the opposite of that. I think Charlotte was challenged in Florida after that win. It's hard to regroup and refocus, especially against a team that you should win. So I think that game's going to be closer than people think. Similar to when Maryland played Charlotte. That game was close and Charlotte jumped out. I think Charlotte is going to come out and play really good, and maybe a little letdown game for Florida.
Yeah, we'll see. UAB at number 1, Georgia. We already talked about the Bulldogs. Memphis is somehow 3-0. And they are at Missouri. Of course, Missouri coming off the big win against Kansas State. So, from that standpoint, maybe Mizzou's a little ripe for the picking. I don't know. Great kick to end that game. How about that? But I'm not so sold on Memphis at 3-0. I think that Hennigan is a top 3 in the league quarterback in the American. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's that good. I believe that they are somewhat fraudulent in their 3-0. They got lucky against Navy. That's a Navy team that's still trying to figure itself out a little bit offensively. But I'm not so sure about I just think I'm not sold on the Memphis coaching, and I'm not sure. I mean, the 3-0 for the Tigers is a little deceiving, I would have to say.
I agree. I think it's a lot to be said for going 3-0. I am with you, though, that it's not the strongest 3-0 record. I think Missouri is going to have a lot of confidence after that victory against Kansas State, and I think they're going to keep that momentum. It's going to be tough for Memphis to win that game on the road, but I do think Memphis is doing good things. They're not the normal 3-0 team that's been perfect. I think they still have issues they need to fix.
Well, they beat Bethune-Cookman, which was they do have a quarterback, which helps. I think Bethune-Cookman was a walk in the park. Arkansas State's one of the worst FBS teams, and then they just barely survived Navy on Thursday. Granted, it was a short week to deal with whatever Navy's doing offensively now, but I don't know. I'm not at this point sold on the Tigers. We'll see. All right, Jay Sonny Sunholder, there he is. I'd tell you where he's headed this weekend, but he doesn't. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to. Anyway, you're my guy, Sonny. I love you.
Love you.
And we'll see you Friday. How about that?
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
All right, there he is, Jay Sonny Sunholder, with us here on the Patrick Johnson Show. Philip, I'm going to head over to Tiebreakers. We'll have Inside Pirate Athletics coming your way at the top of the hour. It'll be at 6 o'clock here on 94.3 The Game and on the ECU Sports Network. You're going to preview a little Monday night for us with the Panthers?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the
We're
plan?
definitely going to preview some Monday Night Football. We're actually going to start doing it now. We might get in a little trouble on the YouTube for this, but we're bringing a little Hank Jr. in right now.
Okay.
I don't know. Can you hear it yet?
I hear it.
There you go. This is our preview for Monday night. Even though he doesn't do the Monday night song anymore.
He should.
He should. I miss Hank on Monday night.
Yeah. There it is. All right. Pilkington's Monday Night Football preview for the Panthers coming up as we go to break. This is a long ramp-up. I forgot how long the ramp-up is.
Yeah, I did too. And I found the instrumental version. I think it's not as loud as it should be.
Okay. Well, that's fine with that said. Let's see. Yeah, it is the instrumental version. So you might not get that much trouble then with the platforms.
You never know.
You never know with these platforms. It's day to day. But aren't we all? All right, we're coming back with more right after all of this with Philip the Rep Pilkington wrapping up things on a manic Monday. See you back here tomorrow at 5 o'clock for the PJ Show with our Houston Huddle. And tomorrow morning on Talk of the Town, likewise, our Houston Huddle. See you in the morning at 7 there. And talk to you in a few minutes inside Pirate Athletics from Tiebreakers with Coach Houston right here on The Game.
Fifth Street Hardware is the home of the $9 lunch special Tuesday through Fridays. $9 specials every day, including the famous Burger Day on Tuesdays, Flatbread Pizza Wednesday, the famous Fifth Street Hardware Reuben on Thursday, and fried fish or shrimp on Friday. Plus trivia on Wednesday nights and live music every Thursday nights. And the Prime Rib Brunch Buffet has returned on Sundays. You heard that right. The Brunch Buffet with all the great items, including prime rib, 5th Street Hardware in downtown Greenville.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master.
You can't name a lot of things that I didn't do. Stacking paper like a book, not a Kindle. You outdated, I'm the one they getting into, and I won't break a sweat. Let's get it, 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 let's get it. Child, please, I don't need a towel, please.
Are you game day ready? Anson Belt, the official belt of ECU Athletics.
Are you ready for a digital hair color revolution? The Color Master Factory by Chi and LG. A masterpiece of innovation, unlimited color formulations, limitless possibilities, long-lasting color. Chi.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.